Hey there everybody. So, Project UTV. Things have happened. Cylinder head. Huh. Yes, I know. New one. Expensive. Very expensive. But a new cylinder head all the same. Yay. It's been a good month or two. Literally. Side of the engine's been off most of that time, waiting for one little bolt. In fact, I can show you which one I've been waiting for. That one right there. That holds the chain tensioner. You see that one is slightly bent. It's a bit of a bend in that. Didn't want to put it back in again, didn't want to chance it. That, if I can find it, I don't know why I chuck it there. Hang on a minute, that's the piece. I am using my phone for this, so that's why it's a bit weird. So that thing right there is the chain tensioner. Look at that there, look. That there, look. That's where the original chain tensioner, well, you could focus the camera, that's like a, yeah. That's where the original chain tensioner is pressed into it that hard that it's caused all the problems that we've had. And that bolt, the focus is horrific, I know, I'm very sorry. That bolt fits into that gap there. It doesn't bolt it down or anything, it just floats on it. And it enabled the chain tensioner to sort of tension it like that. You know what I mean? On that bolt, but the tensions in this thing was that bad. Well, not only did it crack the chain tensioner, it also bent the bolt as well. So yeah, 2 items of scrap. So I've got it all back on. I've got it all torqued up. 10 Newton meters for the outer, the small bolts around the outside. You see the top one here. This thing just here. 10 Newton meters for those. Not much, but that's what it says. I probably am going to kick myself for doing this, but I didn't change the gasket, partly because the original gasket wasn't cut or shredded or anything. It was in perfect condition. Literally, it looked like it was just freshly put on. So I thought, I'll clean up the surfaces and stick it back in again. You know, why not? I have got a spare gasket for it, but I couldn't be bothered to go for all the hassle of, you know, cleaning it all up. So what I'm going to be doing on this, right, where was I? I had to just cut the video off there a little while. Yeah, I've got to do the valve timing. Not the valve timing, sorry. The slack in the valve tappets. Yeah, very slack. That one, it's just hand tight. But I've got to get myself a set of feeler gauges. I've got some at home. Didn't bring them with me today. Just need to find a place for that earth to go on number 2 cylinder. This thing, got to earth it to something. I'm not sure where though. My plan with this is to put or to make some kind of full-size door. Let me stand back a little bit. It's not going to look pretty, I don't think, but I'm going to try and make it out of, say, aluminium or something, and then put perspex panel in the gap with an aluminium frame bolted to the door. I think it'll work. My plan is to put a heater in this. Now hear me out, okay? I think the design of this engine is pretty bad, the cooling system. I think it's actually quite appalling myself. V-twin engines, I always see them as a bit of almost like an engine and a half. V-twin engines. because you've got two independent cylinders. This goes for any kind of V engine. Each cylinder or bank is going to make its own independent heat. Now on most V engines there is a thermostat on both sides. You know, one on one bank of cylinders and one on the other bank of cylinders. On this one there's only one thermostat, and one only, which is on cylinder number 1, front cylinder. Underneath that there, you notice how there's a bit of a block here, this block, but on this one there's no block. I've got this thing out of gear at the moment, so it's creaking. There's no block on this, so underneath that there is no thermostat. Now you'd think that, okay, that's cool because that cylinder stays cool. Nope. What happens is there is a pipe which links from here to here, and from there to there the thermostat's in the way. So the heat from this cylinder has to travel all the way down this pipe, loop down here, all under here, all around here, and into there, and then open the thermostat. I think that's horrific. I think that's a terrible design. That's probably why the rear cylinder failed in the first place, because the heat builds up in the back cylinder and it's got nowhere to vent it to. Literally, it's got nowhere to go. The heat on this engine, the thermostat, is only regulated from the front cylinder only. And I've come up with the idea of trying to find another one of these blocks, sandwich blocks, whatever they call them, and putting another thermostat on this cylinder. Of course the two cylinder heads are pretty much the same, just bolted in different areas. The chain tensioner should be there if that was the cylinder head for number 1. This is only on the 800cc engine. If it's a 1000cc engine, apparently the chain tensioner is built into the cylinder head. The cylinder itself, this piece here. This is going on what I've learnt online anyway. So my idea was to, instead of having just this one pipe here linked to the radiator, it was to put a thermostat on both, put a Y piece on, and then connect this pipe here to the Y piece. That way each cylinder can be regulated by its own thermostat. Happy days. Unfortunately, I cannot find for sale that block of aluminium just there. I cannot find one anywhere. I can get the thermostats, but I cannot find the aluminium block. Pretty much impossible to find. Even Googling the part number for it, you know, using the exploded diagram, the schematic of the engine, and all the part numbers. Nowhere online sells it. There's a couple places in America I've seen that sell it, but that's going to kill me on import charges, because anything from the States, super crazy import charges. So my other plan is to, the pipe that's here, I'm literally going to be tapping into that pipe, putting a T-piece into it, teeing off, running the pipe up under the floor, up behind the dashboard, and I'm going to be putting it into this thing here. I can't read Chinese, so I don't know what that says. It probably says something like coolant heater or something on there. Two pipes going in, well, one pipe in, one pipe out. There's a big motor in there, a squirrel cage blower motor, brush DC motor. Two outlets, only 2 wires. I'm just going to run it with a PWM controller. And I'm going to make it so that has constantly got flow going through it. So the water, the coolant, is constantly flowing through the two cylinders, constantly getting mixed between the two cylinders. And I'm literally going to tee it into that linking pipe there that links the two cylinders together. It's going to flow through that heater, and then tee just in the, it's on the opposite side, there's a pipe just down there somewhere, or there was. You can just see that inlet there, just above my fingernail. That is the inlet to the water pump, and it's just going to branch into that, just tee into that. Where's the pipe to that? The pipe is somewhere. Yeah, that's the pipe that links the cylinders. The heat has to travel all the way through that to get to that front cylinder. Terrible design. I don't know if all BRP engines are like that, but wow, you want to address that, because that is a pretty appalling thing. It's purely relying on the heat from the front cylinder. The rear cylinder can just go thermonuclear. Yeah. So that's my plan. I don't care if people say that's not how it should be. It's how I'm going to do it, and I know it's for a fact it's going to last longer for it. There's a couple of cars I used to have where you could not bypass the heater matrix. The heater matrix has to be in line with the coolant system, because if it's blanked off, the engine overheats. So, you know, certain parts of the engine get hot spots, and it gets hot and you get cracked cylinder heads in that area. And that is because literally it needs that constant flow running through the engine. And if literally if this engine is the same engine, the same cylinders, both sides, which they are on these, then surely both of them should run at the same temperature, not one hotter than the other. So I think that's just a bit of future proofing I'm going to do. I'm hopefully plan on never actually getting this thing ready, really hot, but we'll see. Anyway, I reckon that about covers it for now. I have, let's just have a quick look around here. Put the number plate on the bottom. Looks nice. I've not widened the lights yet. That's a job for another day. This thing takes an L7 MOT. A lot of places don't do them. But, yeah. So it just has a standard quadricycle MOT. I'm not sure if it needs a front number plate, but I've got one there anyway, and some sticky pads to stick it on with. It's just going to go up there on that front, in between the two spotlights. That's where it was originally, before the other people took it off. Apparently the guys who scrapped this didn't want it to be sold on. If you guys are watching that, I'm really sorry about that. I didn't know, but come on, it is too nice to get rid of. And hey, it is costing me a damn fortune to actually get this thing in working condition. Total cost, cylinder heads was about £600. I know, right? That's just how much it is to get them here in the UK. But that came complete with the valves and everything in there. To show you how hot, actually, this got on the old head, you've only got to look at this gear just here, look. You see that bluing just there around the bolt? That is how hot it got. That's how hot this engine was getting. It got that hot. Yeah. Lovely, that. I've actually got the old cylinder head here. I can show you. Oh, it failed. Oh. One old cylinder head. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, that's what happened. And you can see all this black in here. That's all gotten very hot, and I was thinking, should I go and no, don't worry about that. It's not a washer that I've forgotten. It's actually a copper washer from off these rockers. They sit just there. I thought that for a second, but it's not. See all this plastic here? Look, this is all bits of plastic from the chain tensioner, which is all broken up and gone into it. Yeah, there's some of that blackness in there. Dark coloration is going to be aluminium from that's eaten itself away. You can imagine what noise that was making. Amazing that they kept it running, to be fair. See, I was fearing blocked oil channels, but I've spun the engine up with a drill with no spark plugs in it and stuff, and it was blasting oil up through the bolt holes, because that's with the oil gallery on these. The oil gallery is the bolt holes. One on the rear and one on the back here somewhere. I think it was. Can't remember which one now. And there were plenty of oil being splashed up inside it, so I assume that all that is well and good. It's a damn shame. I was thinking actually of boring that out and getting a sleeve made for it out of steel sleeve. Make like a journal bearing kind of thing with like a bearing shell. And I just thought to hell with it. It's easier just to replace the head than to go to all that trouble. Risk fault, problems in the future, because not only has this one failed, the one on the back's also really slack too. It's got to be because of... Oh, you're not looking at that, are you? It's got to be. So yeah, that is the issue. And because of that, it was causing it to burn quite bad as well, because of all the issues it's had. Now the front cylinder looks nothing like that. It's quite clean inside, but this back cylinder, yeah, looks horrific. It must have been wrecking a right racket when it was doing it. But yeah, you wanted to know, and that's it. One thing I have got to get for this is a replacement battery, one of those things there. That is an AGM flat plate battery with about 280 cold cranking amps, I think it is. I've got to try and find one of those from somewhere, hopefully. But they're bloody expensive. That battery there is 130 quid. Ridiculous money. And I'm thinking of actually putting two batteries on this. There's enough space in this well here. One battery and another battery. One to start the engine, and then one to run all the auxiliaries on a big diode bridge. So it's separate, but it does still charge. And like I say, my plan with that is that I will never have a problem of starting the engine. The engine will always start. I'm actually even going to go as far as to carry around a spare starter motor with me on this thing. And that is purely because you can't bump start this engine. There's no bump starting about it. You are literally stuck with you're literally stuck with only starting it up via the pulleys or whatnot. I mean, if you could wrap a cord around it and pull it, you might be able to start it, but with it being a V engine, I don't think that's possible. Yeah, as soon as the ability to not be able to start the engine has gone, to start the engine has gone, you're pretty much screwed. So anyway, I've spoken enough, haven't I? It's time to go, I guess. I've got to crack on and do other things. I've took the plough off the front, wrapped the tow hit rope around it because it just looks cool with it wrapped around. And inside this thing, up underneath here, is where I'm going to be putting the heater, somewhere here, probably in the wing somewhere underneath this panel. These panels are all on these push rivets, so I'm pretty sure I can get in there and zip tie it or Jubilee clip it to something. Oops, I'm pushing it. It is that free running. The brakes definitely aren't seized on anymore, which is nice. They were. The handbrake was completely seized solid. And we're going to see what happens. With any luck, in a few days' time, I will have this on the road. That's wishful thinking, I think, but we'll see. If I can just get the damn thing started up, I'll be happy. Not today, but probably tomorrow. Only half day tomorrow, so yeah. The place here closes on Saturday, sorry. Closes close on Sunday, half a day on Saturday, so till 12 o'clock. So that's all I've got to play with. So yeah, we'll see what I'll do in that time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out. Catch you on the next one.